Hello, friends, and welcome to my YouTube channel Simply Stocks. And today I'm going to talk about one of the leading pharmaceutical company, Aurobindo Pharma, whether it is a buy at these levels or an avoid. So let's get started. First of all, a disclaimer that this is not a stock recommendation. People taking any position to any share that I talk about should do that with their own due diligence and research. And I'm not in favor or against any company that I talk about. Before I talk about Aurobindo Pharma, here's a small request. Kindly support me on Patreon, and once you do that, it will help me grow the channel. It will help you also ask me questions on a daily basis. Once you get the $10 membership, you will have access to my portfolio, my watch list, and a number of podcasts that I put up every day. Plus, you will get to understand in the watch list a number of stocks, 60-70 stocks with buying ranges, in my opinion, that could be bought into, and also the targets for those stocks. For detailed market or company talk or a number of stocks you are holding, kindly email me directly and we can work things out. Now about the company, Aurobindo Pharma established in 1986 and they provide pharmaceutical drugs, and they had API units earlier, but now they are into R&D and providing pharmaceutical products. One of the largest API and formulation company, exports around the globe, including the USA, but they are more into providing formulations and final drugs into Europe and US. US FDA had scarred the company in 2018-19, and that's why the stock did not go up a lot from 2015 onwards. And it was only in the last 6-8 months that is back in fashion with all the pharmaceutical stocks going up. If you look at the financial, and these are Q1 FY21, so June numbers compared to last year, and the sales were up 10%, the profit was up 27.5%, which is a marked improvement from what was happening 2-3 years back or 4-6 quarters back, where they were having declining profitability. High promoter and institutional holding with around 9.5% free float. So there's no question that large investors, HNIs, FII, DIIs are invested in it. Promoters have also bought a big chunk. Return on equity of around 14.5% and an operating profit margin of around 20% augurs well for the company. These are very decent numbers when you compare to other pharmaceutical companies, and you have to take into consideration that this is one of the larger pharma companies, the big one of the big 5-6 companies that is in the pharma space. So there's no question of management quality or anything. It is just that the company per se is lagging compared to other pharma companies. It is not in terms of returns performing that well compared to other even smaller pharma firms. If you look at the performance, then stock has been a drag, as I said, in the pharmaceutical pack. So even in this pharma pack, Sun Pharma and Aurobindo has not done that smartly as others have done. So something like a Dr. Reddy's, Divi's or Ipca has done exceedingly well, whereas Aurobindo Pharma has lagged behind. Over the last 5 years, it has done nothing. If you compared very little returns, and it fell over around 50% in the February and March fall. So when that fall happened, it was like a capitulation for this sector, and nobody was looking at this sector, and everybody thought that after the capitulation that was taking place in the market, with the market falling to 7500, that most of the consumption stocks, retail stocks would again perform. But then pharma and IT came out of the ashes and they just rose like a phoenix and have done exceedingly well over the last 6-8 months. So it has surged smartly since April and has had its troubles with FDA and selling at higher levels. So what has happened is US FDA troubles were happening at one time, and the stock was also trading at higher valuations. So in both respect, the stock was being beaten down, and that's why in the last 2.5 years the stock really culminated into something like 600 or 580 rupees a share during March. So it has been consolidating for a while. Yes, it did surge from April to say October, November, but it has not done that well as other companies in the same sector have done. and that is a cause for concern for me, that it is consolidating again in a range, and most of the pharmaceutical companies, most of the stocks in this space have touched a new all-time highs and have gone ahead, but this stock has been languishing when it is compared to those. So what has changed basically from say March 2020 till or you can say in the last 5 years, and for the last 8 9 months US FDA has relaxed norms since the onset of the illness. So whatever has taken place over the last 6 8 months because of the pandemic, etc., uh, you can say medicines are in fashion, and most of the focus of the US FDA is on the vaccine, and on companies that are producing the vaccine rather than on companies that are producing normal other illnesses drugs. And that's why they are getting approval left, right, and center. Most of the companies are getting that, and Aurobindo Pharma has had a lot of skirmishes with the US FDA in 2017 and 18, and it has come as a blessing in disguise for them that most of their drugs are now getting approved, and so that has changed, and that's why the stock price has soared. More approvals have meant better earnings and earning visibility for the company, and I think next couple of years could be very decent for pharma companies. Maybe there will be a consolidation over the next 3 4 months, but again earning visibility will take care, earnings will take care of the stock, and it will keep moving higher. Investors have also shifted towards healthcare and safety, and a lot of money has come into Aurobindo Sun Pharma as well. Although the stocks have not gone up in the same manner as others have, but the money is trickling into, you can say, healthcare, pharmaceutical, diagnostics, IT, yeah, all the safer kind of a sector, rather than putting money into infrastructure, capital goods, cement, etc. Although cement has been doing well lately, but over the last 8 months, if you see, pharma and IT are the sectors that have done appreciably well. So next few quarters, at least 4 to 6 quarters, would be pretty good for the pharma sector, probably till next year end. And it could be a traditional shift, we don't know. At least in the insurance space, we are seeing a traditional shift by people into buying more insurance. That I'm pretty certain of. Maybe people would get into buying more medicines, etc., globally, and there'll be demand for the same surging. But at least for the next year and a half, things looks very good as the sector has come back into favor. So what needs to be done? In my opinion, you can buy at these levels. In fact, the stock has corrected from the highs, recent highs. So these levels are decent enough to get into. Probably declines also. If you are holding the stock for the last 3 4 years, not getting any returns, hold. Probably at least for the next 18 months, just hold. If it surges a lot from these levels, 30 40 50%, then you book out. Same goes with people who are buying at current levels also. Pharma is back in fashion, but I believe for the next 12 to 18 months, I think after that, after a year or so, things would drive the consumption sector, and even I would say real estate and autos, etc., would do extremely well compared to pharma and IT. So this was my video on Aurobindo Pharma. Please like and subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that you can get my videos straight away when I post it. Thanks a lot for watching.